Now the background on here is too dark. I've got to lighten it up, but I've still got to use the same idea, the grey, I think, and a little bit of green. What's persuaded me is the eye. If you look at the inside section of the eye here, and I've replicated it, although I've made mine less grey than this. I've made it a little bit more green. So I'm going to use a greyish-greenish tone, but I'm also going to use a darker colour as well, something like 157, which I did use in the eye. And I'm going to use that in the background. But to start off with, folks, we've got to put a base colour on. And the most obvious colour really would be to use the grey, which would be the 233 if we want a medium tone. But I really feel that we need it won't give us the softness that we need for the base. So I'm going to use 230. If I was sticking to this one, I would most definitely use the 233. Because although that wouldn't rub in very well, subsequent colours would rub into that very well, and almost certainly I would put polychromos or soft pastel onto the background. But I'm not going to do that. So that's what I'm going to use. That's my decision. So let's get on with it. Now, this is a lot easier because we haven't got any nooks and crannies to go around. Just round the ears, maybe a little more difficult. But you've seen me do this so many times, so I don't need to show you again. But you've got to go right up close to the animal and make it quite solid. Now I'm using the flat side of the pencil because I want to put quite a lot of colour on here. And I don't want to crush the paper, so the flatter the pencil is on the paper, the less chance you've got of pushing in and crushing the paper. So that's what I'm going to be doing, right, like that. And you'll generate quite a lot of dust, as you see I'm doing. Most of that will disappear. I want to rub into the animal particularly. And there we go. Bring the edges back again of the animal, but there you are. So that's what I'm looking for all over. Well, that's the light grey all over. Now, this is the colour that I've been looking at. This is the colour that I want, and as the base. Let me just show you how I achieve that. First of all, I use the grey, which is 233, and it'd be interesting for you to see the progress here of each pencil in turn. These are the 4 pencils I use. That's the first one. No need to blend it. We can blend it all together in a minute. Okay, that's the first one. And the second one was this green. Now this is 172. So I don't want a green, but I wanted a greyish green. Now if you look at those two, you think, what's that? It's nothing like that, is it? Look how different it is. Chalk and cheese. It's this one that makes a difference. This is 157. Okay, let's just rub that, see how it goes. You see? Now that's a nice colour. I lost the edge of my poor old mountain line, but here, that's alright, we can get it back. So that's the colour. Now the other colour that I've added here, which you can't really see that well, is the 189. Now this is, 131. Actually I will use 131. I was thinking of the 189, but I use that in the nose. So I'm going to put some of that in. I'd intended to put the 189 in. Now that, you don't have to have it all over, you just have an influence of colour. So there we are. Now that looks great, doesn't it? Now I'm going to put that all over. Well, I've had a slight change of heart. I was going to make it all over the same colour, but I stopped when I got to both the grey and the green. I put the grey and the green on through, and I thought, hang on, let's just see whether it works if I leave some light areas. Well, what I've done down here is you can just about make it out. I put some pink in, and I put some of the yellow in, which is 102, and I quite like the look of that. And I continue with the blue up here. So let me just carry on, and I'm going to make another area, perhaps a little area over here, lighter too. So I'll show you this. Put the blue in. It can come in. Where we've got a dark area there, that could do maybe with a lighter touch to it. And keep it dark around the ear. And then we use the pink, which is 132. And that we can introduce that into the blue as well, and the yellow too. Now that's not going to stay yellow, it's going to disperse. Let me just show you how that works. Now we could put a little bit more blue up there on the corner, because it's nice to have a depth in the corner. There's the blue. Making a bit of a mess of the edges of the mountain line, but we can bring all that back, as you know. That's not really a problem. Let's go into here. It's going to make the ear stand out nicely, and that grey edge that I put on will be lost. We'll have it as a white edge. Now here is where we use the light. Pastel is wonderful, it just blends into itself. You get a lovely fusion. You can see that coming in there. Okay, now I'm going to bring the dark in again, mainly in the corner, because I like strong corners. And I think we'll bring it down to maybe there. And we'll bring the light in along the top there with the yellow as well. Let's see how that works out. Yeah, that's nice. So we've got that, just a little bit of light over there, and I'm going to have the same down here. So let's put that, because I've got a dark fur here, and I can make that a little darker if I wanted to. And the yellow. With maybe just a hint of blue as well. The thing about this, you never really know what it's going to look like until you've blended it. And you can't really go wrong, because if for any reason I didn't like this, I'd just put more blue on and make it plain. But I do. I think that's going to look great. Now let's have a look at that. Let's see what we think. Oh, that's stunning, isn't it? So that's what I want to do now. Do I want it any darker? I think I do. Now the only dark colour I have here is the 181. So let's put 181 in on the bottom, just on the bottom here. I'm not going to make it any darker of the animal. I think I'm quite happy with it. We'll put a bit of that 157 in as well. There, and we blend that. Oh, I tell you what, too. Way back on the ears, I used a 169. I really haven't used it since then. So let's just put a little bit of that in. That's a stronger colour. So let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that looks good. See, it almost disappears completely, but we still get an influence of colour. Just put a little bit more in. Then we can go around and maybe put some more pink in, and some more yellow in. Now when you rub this, you don't rub it quite so much. You just blend it into. And that's really nice.